Josh Green here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by Spencer Oliver. Lauren Price, Fight Week, homecoming in Wales. How are you doing, Spencer?
Yeah, really good, mate. Looking forward to this fight, actually. I'm looking forward to seeing Lauren, perform. Difficult opponent in Jessica Mccascal. We know what she is. She's undefeated as a welterweight. So, yeah, it's a massive step up for Lauren Price. But I believe she's got the skill set, the talent, the grit, the determination, and I think she'll come through all right.
What are the keys to success for Lauren? Mccascal's obviously got the experience edge. What does she need to do on Saturday night?
I think for Lauren Price, it's just about staying disciplined, and I think that's key to success. Listen, she's a great boxer. She's got a great boxing IQ, and I think that's important against someone like Mccascal, who we know likes to come forward. She's got a high work rate, so it's all about utilising the ring very well with Lauren Price and just using her brain, being smart. She's got good hand speed, she's got good footwork, she controls the distance very well as well, and I think the key to success for Lauren is to set that up, find the timing, find the range, throw the shots in combinations and get away again.
What do these homecomings mean to a fighter? What's it like stepping into an arena with 3,000-4,000 of your own fans?
Listen, I think it's huge for Lauren Price. She's been such a successful sportswoman, just not just in the boxing ring. Her caps that she got playing for Wales and world kickboxing champion. She's done a little bit of everything. So I think for her it's hugely important to get this homecoming. It's something that she wanted, and I think that'll make her raise her game as well.
A little bit of spice on the undercard with Huie Fury being added a couple of weeks back. We know he's making his return from a long time out, but an 8-rounder this weekend. What can he still achieve in the sport?
Listen, I think it's all about, for Huie, it's all about activity. That inactivity, due to ill health, was very unfortunate for him. I like Huie a lot. You go back to the days when he boxed Joseph Parker, he was very unfortunate not to win that world title. He's a top competitor on his day. And I think for Huie, it's all about activity, staying active and getting those rounds under his belt. And it's good to see him out again after, only a couple of weeks. He was boxing on the GBM show. He got the rounds under his belt, and he'll be looking to improve on that on Saturday.
Still only 29 years of age, still heaps of talent and heaps of potential in there, do you feel?
Absolutely, yeah, of course. Like you say, he's still very, very young, man. But people don't realise how young he is. What he's achieved. In his career so far. He's done everything at a very young age. So yeah, still plenty of time to learn, plenty of time to develop. But for him, it's the key here really is about the activity and getting those rounds under his belt. So looking forward to it.
I saw you in midweek in the TalkSport studio with Prince Naz and Adam Hamed. I mean, what was that experience like seeing Prince Naz? I assume it's been a little while since you've seen him.
Listen, me and Naz go back a long way. So when we were 13-year-old kids, 14-year-old kids, we boxed for England together. We boxed. We boxed around a lot. We used to spar together as well. So it was good catching up with him. Speaking to him today actually as well. Hoping to do some more stuff on TalkSport with him as well. So yeah, looking forward to it. But listen, look, Naz is a boxing legend. And I think that it was just great catching up with him. It was great to have him back involved in the sport.
I want to talk to you about something we saw on Monday afternoon here in UK time. Naoya Inoue, another victory under his belt. Won a world championship at 5 weights. It's really an incredible story, an incredible career from him. But how further up the weights do you think he can go before size becomes a problem?
Well, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Because super bantamweight now, 5'5", so he's the same sort of height as me. So, I think there's scope there to be able to move through another weight division, maybe another 2 weight divisions. He's carrying that power up with him as well, which is very important. Neary had him down early on in the fight in the first round. He showed that he's got that power of recoveries as well, which was good, because that ticked another box, answered some more questions that we didn't know about him. He had to come through a mini crisis there, and he pulled himself back together, and the finish was spectacular. So, another great performance by Inoue. For me, he stamps himself as a pound-for-pound number 1 in the world. I think it was a great performance, and looking forward to seeing what comes of him over in the next 12 months or so. I know there's talk of him boxing out in Saudi as well now, which would be very good, or even boxing on the Wembley card in September. Let's hope that we get a chance to see him, see him in the flesh and see him perform, because when you get fighters like that come along, you should appreciate them, because he's a class act.
I want to touch on a boxer card that was announced a couple of weeks back in Billam Smith against Richard Riakporhe. A real pick 'em fight. Which way do you lean in the early stages of this one?
Listen, I love that fight. I really do. I think that both guys have been exceptional. Billam Smith, he's had 10 fights since that fight back in 2019. He's won all 10 and picked up the WBO world title. And Richard Riakporhe has taken a different route. He's got himself into mandatory position. Had 7 fights, all victories. So look, it's a great fight. I think they've both developed really, really well. But for me, Riakporhe maybe just a fresher of the two at this stage. I know Billam Smith will sort of laugh at that, but that's just where my head's at right now. And I think that with Riakporhe, I think, back when they boxed in 2019, I'm not sure he believed in his own ability. I don't think he had the confidence in his own ability back then. There's a lot of talent there, but I'm not sure he had the confidence in his own ability. He's got that more so now. But what we found with Billam Smith is that when things are going against him and things are not going right, he can bite down on his gum shield and he can pull himself through those tough times. So look, it's an interesting one, man. Like, it is a real pick 'em. Maybe lean towards Riakporhe to win it, but it's a great fight.
You mentioned that Wembley card earlier. The man that's being linked with the main event of that Wembley card is Mr. Anthony Joshua, making his UK homecoming, and the names linked with him, the winners of Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, and obviously Dubois and Filip Hrgovic. Out of those 4 names, who would you like to see him in with?
Listen, I'd love to see Daniel Dubois get the shot, because obviously an all-British world heavyweight title fight at Wembley would be absolutely brilliant. It's historic. So, I'm always rooting for our own. Daniel Dubois is in my gym. He trains under the watchful eye of Don Charles. Don's doing a great job on him psychologically. Like, Daniel's got all the attributes. He's got the physical attributes, but maybe mentally didn't believe in himself enough. And I think Don Charles is doing a great job with that. So I'm rooting for Daniel Dubois all the way. And I'd love to see Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, who's, another family friend of ours as well, Anthony Joshua. I'll go back a long way with him. And, I'd love that fight to happen, for both guys.
More than the Wilder fight?
Oh, listen, as a boxing fan, of course you want to see the Wilder fight, but if you look at, you going off last performances and the way that Wilder, performed last time out, it was very, very disappointing against Joseph Parker. And you looked at that and you go, like that, that looks like a fighter that's best days are maybe well behind him now. Fighters do get old overnight, and Wilder, he looked like that. So look, he's got a lot to prove going in against Zhilei Zhang. It'd be interesting to see how he comes through that one. But if he comes through like the Deontay Wilder of old, of course we want Joshua versus Wilder. But from a personal point of view, I'd love to see Daniel Dubois get that opportunity. All British title fight would be brilliant.
Final couple from me. We're now a week or so removed from Ryan Garcia's positive test following his win over Devin Haney. How much damage do you feel that's done to the sport? There'll be a lot of people that have tuned into boxing maybe for the first time, or don't tune into boxing that often, that have watched that, and then in the aftermath they've seen all this news surrounding Garcia. How do you feel about it?
Listen, you know how I feel about drug cheats in the sport. I think it's wrong. I think they should be getting life bans. I don't agree with just the 6 months and 12-month bans that some of these guys are getting. We're talking about boxers that put their lives on the line, and some boxers do lose their lives in the ring. It's a dangerous sport, so I think the punishment should be heavy. It should be very, very heavy. They had an adverse finding. He failed a test. Osterine was in his system. Let's see how it plays out. Of course, he's entitled to the process playing out, but as it stands right now, he's failed the test. So I think they should come down heavy with a penalty.
Final thing, Gervonta Tank Davis, scheduled to fight Frank Morin out in Las Vegas, but says he doesn't want the fight out there, says he wants that to be pulled and he wants the fight in a different arena. Does the fighter have that much power?
Well, listen, I think it's just Deontay Davis wanting to do things on his terms, and him making that statement just tells me that, we've got to remember that he's one of the biggest names in boxing today. He's making a little bit of noise about that, but that's just a little bit of mind games possibly. I love Gervonta Davis. I think he really is a superstar of the sport. So I don't read too much into that really. We'll just see how that plays out. But one thing I do want to see is Gervonta Davis back in the ring again, because he's a class act.
Cheers for your time, Spence, as always.
Mate.